the difference in time between now and 2006 is about the same amount of distance between 2006 and 1986.
And think of the
86
change
or
that happened over
85
that
was
time.
when Back to the Future came out.
Yeah.
Okay, so the difference between Back to the Future and The Devil Wears Prada
Yep.
is
Gigantic.
massive.
Right.
Culturally, linguistically, fashion. The difference between Devils Wear Prada 1 and Devil Wears Prada 2 feels like it might as well just be
It's the same.
5 years.
And, aside from the fact that Meryl Streep looks shockingly the same in the ads.
Welcome to another CG garage where the monstrous moon shines. We're building new Hollywood like in 1970. One's prime. From Otter's bold dreams to AI's fever dream, where tech meets the silver, a LED screen. Pixels and passion, our pipelines are known to host one show on a deadline postponed.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the CG Garage. This is episode number 548, which is a film discussion episode that we're going to do, which is The Devil Wears Prada from 2006. Believe it or not, I had not seen this film. We discussed that a little bit in the podcast. But after I saw it, I came to realization that there is a much bigger discussion happening about what has happened to us culturally over the last 20 years. And I decided wanted to write a blog post about it. But before I did that, I wanted to talk to Daniel about it, because when he and I talk about things, we can sort of rehash and think about a lot about what this means. So this episode is me trying to come to grips with what's happened in the last 20 years. And then I took what was recorded on this and turned it into a blog post, which I wrote while I was on vacation. And so if you guys want to see that blog post, it's going to come out the same time this episode came out. And just go to monstrousmoonshine.tv/blog and you'll be able to check it out. But yes, this is a very interesting one, and I'm very curious to hear what you guys think about it. So please let us know. In terms of events, like I said, I just got back from vacation, so I'm probably going to be busy for a while. But yes, I'm going to be doing a shoot for June, July in the next 3 or 4 weeks, which I'm very excited about. And then after that, it's summer in SIGGRAPH. So hopefully I'll see you guys at SIGGRAPH, which is in LA this year, and I'm very excited. I love it when it's in LA. Okay. In terms of the podcast, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Like I said, just go to youtube.com/@CGGaragePodcast, youtube.com/@CGGaragePodcast if you want to follow us there. You can, of course, go to our site, which is cggarage.com. If you'd like to have a longer discussion about what was said, the best thing to do is actually go to our Discord. Just go to cggarage.com/Discord, and that will redirect you to our Discord, and we'll be able to have that discussion in there. All right. But for now, please enjoy episode number 548 with The Devil Wears Prada.
This episode of CG Garage is sponsored by Centergrid Virtual Studio. Wondering why you went to film school just to be stuck managing hardware life cycles? Centergrid delivers end-to-end GPU-accelerated cloud workstations built specifically for VFX and creative production, with flat, predictable pricing and personalized support from people who actually get your workflow. Plus, Centergrid is TPN Gold Shield certified, so your studio's security is locked down. Check out what Virtual Studio can do for your pipeline at cgvirtualstudio.com. This episode of CG Garage is sponsored by Kitbash 3D, one of our favorite tools and an essential tool for 3D artists everywhere. With the largest library of cinematic quality, production-ready 3D assets, Kitbash 3D ensures that your studio has the tools to build stunning environments quickly, efficiently, and at scale. Design detailed worlds in a fraction of the time without compromising on quality. Head to kitbash3d.com and use the code CGGarage at checkout for 10% off any kit. Again, that's kitbash3d.com, code CGGarage.
All right, Daniel, you just got back, man.
Yeah. No, vacationing. Back to my old stomping grounds.
Yes.
Yeah.
Down by the sea. You know, I was just starting. I like to sometimes just explore new shows on TV just to see what's out there. When I have a lunch at home, and I just started watching something on Apple called Widow's Bay or something like that.
Oh, is that with Matthew? What's his name? If it's Matthew from The Americans, that guy.
Yes, it is.
Okay, he's great. I love him.
It is, and it's essentially it's like this old it's like a town in the New England in this little little island that's trying to find something, but they've got all this. The fog is coming in, and
Yeah,
all
sure.
the people are. Yeah, it's very mystery kind of stuff, and
Yeah.
zombies, and Stephen
I'm
Root's
in.
in it.
I
Yeah,
wow.
I know.
Stop right there. I'm already watching now.
Yeah,
Stephen Root.
yeah. And so I was thinking about it. I was like, since you were in Cape Cod, I was like, and you're reading Moby Dick and the whole thing. So I was like, God, this is a Daniel thing.
Wow, that is 100% my brand. Wow, that's pretty impressive. Yeah, and I actually
totally.
love that guy. I loved him in the Claire Danes movie that was on, or miniseries that was on Netflix, where she's the writer and writing about him, and he's sort of could be terrible murderer,
Right.
and is just a really, really terrific character actor. So
Yeah,
I'm happy to hear about that. And any representation. I forgot, like when I was back on Cape Cod, like I forgot how weird it is. Like it's so pleasantly strange. All of the Northeast is like when you live in it, you don't think about it. But when you come back after a couple of years, like this place is really weird.
Well, you could say the same thing about Burbank, California. It's
yeah, that's true. I think that Burbank is weird in ways that people in every way in which Los Angeles and Burbank are weird. I think the people of our city know they are weird. They're it's just that it's also popular and it's fun,
sure.
Whereas like New England, it feels like it's like almost exactly the same thing as like when you go to Europe and you feel like you're out of sync by about a decade. Like
it's something is held back in time.
Yeah,
right?
something is, yeah, exactly. Like it's some other weird vibe going on that you're like, wait, did I time travel somehow? I don't know what's going on. And there's always a little bit of Salem witch trials present in the atmosphere of New England.
This is in this.
Yeah.
So you're gonna love Widow's Creek,
can't wait.
or whatever. It's on Apple TV. I think it's Widow's Creek. I think that was called. Anyway,
I'm in.
Yeah, I was like, I think this is a Daniel Thrawn. Thing.
I'm in just for that guy, but then you said Stephen Root, and now I'm like,
Stephen Root.
No.
Oh my God, right? Yeah. Yeah, old salty dog that he is. Yes, and then I am going also by the seaside, but very different seaside compared to Cape Cod. I'm going to Belize.
Yeah,
fishing.
That's some good sea.
So yeah, I've been preparing for that. You saw pictures, but I've tied like almost 100 different flies for the whole situation. So it's good.
That's going to be exciting. Dan, what do you keep those flies in? Do you have a special tackle box?
I do. I have, and if anyone can see this, but I have a tackle box. Well, this is just for the flies for Belize.
Oh yeah, look at that. That's the travel edition.
Yeah. So I have
amazing.
this one, but I have different fly boxes for different things. Like for trout, I have one, and for the surf here, I have one, and different situations require different flies. But
that's
this is my
flies,
this is my Grand Slam one. So like the trick is, Belize is one of the places you can get a Grand Slam, and the Grand Slam is if you catch a tarpon, a permit, and a bonefish all on the same day. That's called a Grand Slam. So that's what I'm. That's one of the many goals we can do. Anyway, this is not what we're talking about. We're not talking about fishing. We're going to be talking about a movie, and this is something we're going to start doing more often on the podcast because I think it's interesting to talk about not just current events, but situations in the movie industry that are happening right now. And my son wanted to watch The Devil Wears Prada, because he had never seen it, and he wants to prepare for The Devil Wears Prada 2, which we've all heard is actually supposed to be pretty good, right?
Good. Yep.
I think there's been some mixed reviews about it, but I've heard from some people that it looks.
I'm in.
Good.
I'll see it. I think that Streep in particular is just like she's like it's like what even if it's not like even if it's a mediocre movie, she's going to be fun to watch regardless. Like this is why like I'll go to see Hannibal movies with Anthony Hopkins, even when they're bad, and there were a bunch of bad ones. I'd be like, he's just amazing at this. This is just great. So this is her Hannibal Lecter.
It's her Hannibal Lecter. Now, that said, I have to admit that I had never seen The Devil Wears Prada until that was my first review. I know, and this feels like, oh, you've never seen Jaws? Like that. It seems like
it was certain set. Yeah, I think that's true.
To some extent, that movie obviously is a staple that everyone had seen, like Titanic and everything else, right? So it is an important movie, but here was my impression when I saw that movie. And this is the biggest reason I wanted to talk about it on the podcast, but we can talk about the whole thing, especially. But this movie came out in 2006.
20 years
That
ago.
is 20 years ago.
Yeah.
This movie looks like it was shot a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The only thing, and I'm talking about all matter of things, not just the movie, but culturally, artistically, cinematography, technology. The only thing that gave it away that it was 2006 was the phones they were using.
Right. Yeah. Lots of flip phones, lots of,
Right.
Yeah.
Weird ringtones.
Right. Weird ringtones. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And that was the only thing. But even the fashion felt, I mean, I know it's somewhat dated. It's definitely not but
Sure.
doesn't feel 20 years ago.
Yeah. No, I would like if I were in conversation about this and I wasn't thinking about it, I'd be like, oh, Devil Wears Prada. It's like maybe 5 or 6 years old, 7 years old. But 20 is, it feels a little bit outside the ballpark. And
Right.
and I think that, photographically, and just cinematically, how they deliver this thing, it's maybe the last time that popular film changed its act. Just like this is how movies are going to look, and then it just got locked down.
Right.
Like that's how you shoot rom-coms. That's how you shoot. Like, it's just there. It's sort of like an interesting average of a lot of 90s looks, actually. But they bring them in, they mix them in sort of gently, and then they lock it down, and then that's Netflix for the next, until 2006.
It's very well shot. It's very well done. But and people was like, well, okay, so it doesn't look as dated as you thought. But like my ballpark is like, if you think about it this way, the difference in time between now and 2006 is about the same amount of distance between 2006 and 1986.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
No, it's wild. And
86 or 85 was
time.
when Back to the Future came out.
Yeah.
Okay. So the difference between Back to the Future and The Devil Wears Prada
gigantic.
is massive.
Right.
Culturally, linguistically, fashion, the way lighting looks, the way stories are told.
Yep. Radically different.
Slang, everything, right?
Film stock, everything.
Yeah. The difference between Devils Wear Prada 1 and Devil Wears Prada 2 feels like it might as well just be
it's the same
5 years.
And aside from the fact that Meryl Streep looks shockingly the same in the ads, but there's basically no time passed. It's really kind of weird. And I think that this movie, because it's an insanely popular film, like I definitely felt like this as a single artistic event was sort of the model that a lot of streaming television used. And sort of like it took this, watered it way down, and then said that's the way we're going to shoot things, just like this. And we haven't.
You think so? But let's think about it. 2006 was an interesting time, like culturally. This was, several years past 9/11, right? So we were kind of not as in shock and awe as that. We were probably just priming up all the Marvel films, et cetera. But this was kind of an outlier.
2 or 3 years away from Marvel, right?
Right. And somehow, but listen, it's a solid story, right?
Oh, it's a good movie. It's a good movie. Yeah, it's I would even say I think it's a pretty good movie on the sort of like entertainment comedy value. It's also a very subtly very, very good movie. I can see why this lingers with people a lot. I don't think scene to scene, it's not the funniest movie I've ever seen. It's not genius in its execution. It's not like the best work that anyone in particular has ever done, but there is a subtlety to what the movie is and says that I can absolutely understand why this means so much to a generation of people. It made such a mark. And then just sort of like the legacy of it is fascinating, because I feel like it's interesting that it happens around the same, just prior to superheroes. because like even though like streaming had not been any like that was not a growing concern at the moment, like the studio decision to go the path of like we're getting into long-term predictable cookie cutter money making, like they were definitely looking for models to follow that likable but easily reproducible, and that's what I saw a lot in the photography and staging of this movie. I was like, this is really interesting because they said this is really good. Let's see if we can come down with a slim version of this and use that as the model.
And there are pinnacle moments that happen around this time that all of a sudden, like you said, like this set the model for everyone else to do exactly the same thing for literally the next 20 years, which is what we're exactly talking about.
It's a total landmark movie.
I was just thinking about this as I came about because it popped into my mind. The amount of time between the last episode of Frasier and the first episode of The Office was 1 to 2 years.
Right.
So Frasier almost
the great
seems to represent
time.
almost represents the end of that 90s sitcom genre.
Yeah, it's like I would say like
in The Office, everything modeled after The Office after that
is 100%. Yeah, like that dominates the 2000s, 2010
even
market.
today.
Yeah, and that's just that's how comedy works, and it's all sort of like low key, slightly sentimental, low key, shame based comedy. Like it's all very ironic and very reserved. Yeah, and it's like it's stuff that I love. I love The Office. I think it's great. But it's all
Parks
sort
and
of
Rec,
like,
all that stuff.
Parks and Rec is incredible, but it's all at a distance. You know, it's all like it's not like you look at Frasier. Frasier is both incredibly smart and incredibly broad. Like it's like you are watching slapstick. Like it's intellectual slapstick, but it is absolutely slapstick.
It is, but it's also theatrical.
Very theatrical. Yeah. Like everything is very, 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 very big. The premises, like they get to the premise, they nail the premise, they set up the light, and you just watch the machine unfold. Right. Whereas that after, and I think it's perfectly nailed, like The Office like says, okay, it's sort of like watching a documentary or like it's like a very fancy version of what do you call it, like reality TV at a distance, slightly removed, where you feel safe criticizing people in an ironic way that you also sort of empathize with, and it's a very sort of careful kind of comedy that it doesn't go for any. Like there's big jokes, but they're always framed in sort of like a, oh gosh, did that happen kind of way, as opposed to theatrical nonsense like Frasier or Friends for that matter, or any of that stuff.
Exactly.
And I think that's I think that we become very like, this is really interesting. I hadn't really thought about this. This is a really great point you brought up. So like, like comedians will talk about like, oh, you can't tell jokes anymore because everybody's so woke, all this stuff. Like, I think that like what is really going on is that we are very self-conscious because of the internet. And so there's no politics involved in any of what I'm saying right now. Like we're just we're very, very self-aware. And the idea of a social faux pas in that setting is very chilling. Right. And so this
actually came up. There was a great conversation that happened and this brings up, this emphasizes your point. Kids don't go to parties or to, remember back when we were teenagers, we would go to parties and try to make out with girls and had a girlfriend for 2 weeks, right?
Yep, 100%.
Right? And we would try to slow dance, and this is how we actually try to figure out how our bodies worked. Whatever people don't
never figured that out, by the way. Never actually figured that out.
No, but people don't do that anymore because they are because
we're all afraid.
Cameras
I'm afraid.
are always
Everyone's afraid.
rolling.
Yeah, like, and the thing is, like,
if you decide you're going to start dancing because you're having a good time, someone might be filming you and make fun of you.
Yeah,
so no one dances.
We are very. I think that the internet largely good, but in terms of because when people are called like, oh, it's what, like that's just fucking bullshit, man. You're trying to frame it so that you're the hero, as opposed to you are also a self-conscious wreck, like everyone is, because this is how we experience the world now. And everybody is watching everybody else a little tiny bit. And if you mess up, it's big. And so like, instead of like savoring like the big ridiculous, nonsense of Frasier, we're very keenly aware of the micro infractions of Parks and Rec. Like, oh, Rob Lowe said something slightly embarrassing, and it's very, very big. And again, and so it made us more subtle and more sort of appreciative of these, because there's plenty of, great, intense sociopolitical, uh, and I don't mean offensive, like offensive against any group, but just sort of like daring comedy in Parks and Rec, there's just like, they're taking risks, and people are always taking risks, but the context has definitely changed because of the way that we interact with each other, which changes our taste for media. And I think that the sort of the connection to Devil Wears Prada, which is an extreme, like the thing that was weird for me is like, this movie is so social. Like, it's like people going out and getting coffee and like going to bars and all this kind of like lavish. Like,
did you just rewatch it recently, by the way?
Yeah, well, I rewatched it last night, and I've seen it a few times, and I liked it when it came out. And I'm just like, this movie is so much part of the older scene, which is like, to be social was to be in public with lots of people and lots of friends and interacting and doing all this, in an office space, as opposed to like, I am watching this movie at home alone in my bedroom and like removed from that. And I spent all day at work on my computer in my closet, and like, that's what's really changed for us. And so like, I think that the ways in which it feels dated are social ways. And the ways it doesn't feel dated at all is the fact, because we have locked ourselves down in so much socially, like all of the production of these things has become quite standardized. Like we are very we're very much like, we just want everything to be safe. This is our safe zone. Netflix is our safe zone, whatever. And like, this is where we can be comfortable. And we've taken the safety of water cooler comedies, like Friends and Frasier and all that kind of stuff. And we've made that more like the safety of our home environment, in a very subtle but strange way that has made us risk averse to artistic daring in terms of filmmaking. There you go. That's my, like, much of that off the top of my head could be bullshit, but I like where you're going with it. I thought it was very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the jarring thing was literally like 1986 to 2006 we haven't evolved culturally.
Well, we've retracted, I think that like, and so like the stuff we see is like it was 20 years ago, and the way we act is very, very removed from things, as much as we possibly can be.
And I might be wrong, by the way. And I'd love people to say, it's like, no, you're wrong. There is a massive difference between 2006 and 2026. And, but I was looking at what they're wearing. It looked like something that someone could be wearing, right? Yeah. Maybe it's a little there, but they all wear very nice clothes. But if you look at clothes from the 1980s, compared to that, is a
pretty
massive
rad,
difference.
If you saw photographs of me in high school,
if you saw Working Girl, remember Working Girl?
Wacko,
right?
Really, really rad. Yeah. No, like I think that like the thing that's a giveaway, at least in terms of camera work and the style of filmmaking, is only that the movie itself is still using like some very clever blocking and long take photography, where the camera really works with the actors and stuff like this. Like it's a nicely directed movie where the camera is really involved, and that's something that's almost gone from streaming. Like like except for stunt photography, or like just like, we're gonna pull a oneer that's stitched together out of 90 different scenes that we shot. Like most photography in streaming is like A, B, wide, B, A, wide, medium, blah, blah, blah. And that's all they do. All of those, but the look of those choices is rooted hugely in movies like Devil Wears Prada. And like the flavor, the sort of like that very friendly, like easy look that it has. It's a very comfortable looking film, and I mean that as a compliment. Like, it's a very easy looking film. And the only thing that they've dropped,
but that shooting style, while we don't do it, as you mentioned, that shooting style doesn't feel dated. When I look at the shooting style of Devil, but the shooting style of, let's say, Working Girl or
yeah. I mean,
looks
Mike
completely
Nichols,
different style.
Yeah, like, no, because Mike Nichols is a director with intention.
Sure.
And so, like, even the simplest stuff in the 80s was like Back to the Future, for instance, with Robert Zemeckis. Like, he is a camera, the camera is a performer in his movies.
For sure.
Really, really, really vivid. James Cameron, like all this stuff, even Albert Brooks, movies and stuff like this, like when he's making modern romance and stuff, like he's thinking like Woody Allen thought about movies. So, like, I'm an artist first and a comedian second kind of stuff. And like, so even drama films of the 90s, like even Silence of the Lambs. Yeah, I know it's a thriller, but it's largely a talking movie,
Sure.
Like, it's a really carefully shot, like, very, like, everything is extremely thoughtful and what it means and how they're shooting things and all that stuff. And that's just not what we do now. Like, that's just like, I think that we are very much that, like, they took a style that was very comfortable. And they're like, this works. Let's slim it down so we don't have quite so much complicated blocking, so we can get this produced. And everyone will feel safe watching our stuff. And that's going to be good. And if you're going to model, if that's your model, then you could certainly do worse than Devil Wears Prada. Like, that's a really...
They did a really good job. And it's, it's almost a Pygmalion story, right? It's a little bit, right?
Oh, so I have a curveball for you on this one. I think
show me.
Really
tell me what your curveball is.
Do you know the movie that really came up a lot in my mind with Devil Wears Prada? What I would have thought it would be like other rom-coms or whatever it is, but I don't think this is a rom-com. I think that this is a different kind of movie, and I can see why. Because, like, I listened to the podcast, The Big Picture, which I really like, and the host there, the two hosts there, one named Amanda. This is like one of her favorite movies of all time, and it's very important to her as for her age bracket and all this kind of stuff. And watching it with that in mind, I'm like, this is Whiplash.
Oh,
this is Whiplash because like Miranda is not Miranda's not a bad person. She is a manifestation of what you want to accomplish if you're honest with yourself. Like
I said, I had never seen this film, and I was like, I don't see her as a terrible boss. I see her as a demanding boss.
She's a demanding boss. Yeah.
Not a bad boss.
Yeah. And so she's right. Yeah, exactly. So she is symbolic of what the main character is denying in herself.
Right.
She's like, I want to remain a good person. Right. And
Kevin Spacey in Horrible Bosses. Bad boss.
In Horrible Bosses. Yeah, exactly. Bad boss. Bad boss.
The Devil Wears Prada. And this is actually the perfect Meryl Streep, right? Because she does... She's the queen of subtle expressions in this film, which is so
This would be an easy part to go big and mess up. Like, it'd be so easy to be like, I'm the villain and I'm going to be really, really big about it. Like, you could absolutely do that. And
play,
it'd be fun.
What was didn't she do Cruella de Vil at some point? No. Was that
no?
No.
Actually,
that was Angela. That was
God, what's her name? Glenn Close did Cruella de Vil.
That's right.
And actually, the Cruella that I recommend is the movie Cruella with Begonia. What's her name?
Emma Stone?
Emma Stone, which is actually a surprisingly good Disney product. Like, I'm just like, That's a weirdly thoughtful film for something they obviously
Is
just
it
got
kind of like
assigned.
the Maleficent or Wicked scenario where
Yeah,
you find out
but
her
it works.
backstory?
Like I'm not
Okay.
I'm not a giant fan of that. It's actually a pretty introspective movie as
All
opposed
right.
to, like this seemed like a good idea at the time kind of movie, which is what most of the
Sure.
other ones are. This is actually it's actually a pretty good one. But this is like with Streep, like she starts the movie, like the scene, spoiler alert, like the scene when she reveals her impending divorce, right?
Ah, yes.
Like that is where she starts thinking about the character, and everything else is built on that.
Right.
It's to protect that person. Everything that she does is knowing that that person who's on the couch and looking like shit and is, obviously destroyed, but trying to keep her shit together.
Right.
That's who Miranda really is. And then she
Sure.
builds the comic version out from that as far as she can until it's not realistic anymore. And
Right.
so like she never makes any bad decisions about she's not treating people badly because she hates them. Like she's treating people like brusquely because she doesn't have anything left. She is spending all of her time trying to manage herself internally, and she's got just a little bit more for the external moment that she really enjoys, which is fashion. And
Right.
even that is wrapped up in all sorts of challenges. So
Right.
to have someone get their coffee order wrong is like, oh, for Christ's sakes, like I'm barely keeping above water,
Right.
And so it's hard not to empathize with her ultimately and retroactively once you know enough about her. And she's really careful about setting the boundaries of that character so she doesn't have, an unrealistic character change. Like,
Right.
you just come to understand her.
Yeah. It was interesting. I was thinking about, how, because she is thoughtful, right? She was thoughtful enough to hire her, even though she was the wrong candidate for the job, right? She's thoughtful enough to do these types of things. So she does have some things like, I can get more out of this person because she's not going to suck up to me like all the other ones will, right?
She's looking for something real. She's looking for authenticity.
For sure. It reminded me, so interestingly, I worked on I think his name was Simon. But he was a director, and he did back in the early 2000s, he did all those really cool, funky Scion commercials. Remember all those Scion commercials that had the weird logos and they were very much graphic designy, powerful, poppy Scion commercials. And he was very successful at it, and he came to Method, and he wanted to do more all CG car stuff, because Daniel Buck and I and Chris Bancroft were very good at that, and so he came to meet with us. But everyone was terrified of him because apparently he was very demanding. There were certain dietary restrictions, et cetera, et cetera. And everyone was terrified of the guy because felt very much like Devil's Wear Prada situation.
Right.
And I met the guy, and you know what? He wanted what he wanted.
Yeah, he's just direct about it. Like this is about,
and he was direct about it, and I was like, got it. Yeah, okay. And in fact, I appreciated the fact that he gave me such clear direction. He wasn't trying to beat around the bush, telling me how awesome I am. Like, just tell me what the fuck you want, and I can get it done.
Bullshit, and, man. We're all here to work.
By the end, he was like, they were telling about, he's got all these. He was hanging out in the crappy, couch in our studio. Like someone had a pet python that he was petting while we were looking at shots together. Completely different than what everyone told me about. Very.
I mean, you and I had the same experience with David Fincher. Yeah.
David Fincher.
David Fincher is everybody warned me like, oh my God, he's a hard ass. I'm just like, yeah, he knows what he wants, and he is very driven to
he gives you clear direction. I'm sorry,
but he gives you clear direction, has good tastes, like all this kind of stuff. It's there, knowing the stories I know about Fisher now, and like knowing that I only got to actually interact with him a couple of times, but like working on a bunch of his shows, just like you did, when I hear about the 100 takes thing, I'm like that tracks to a point, but I also think it's also really good PR on his part, because if it gets out there like, oh, he's real hard ass, then when you just go to work for him, he's pretty reasonable, he just wants good, clear
Yeah.
work decisions. It's not so bad. So it's good, like, for him to be like for every actor who gets interviewed from working on David Fincher would say, "Oh my God, so you had to do 100 takes," and everyone's like, "Oh no, it's really bad." Like, actors now know when they go to do a Fincher movie, like, okay, I hear he does like 100 takes. They're ready to do it, and they've signed on with that in mind, and they are in the right headspace to work. Like, so if they do like 20 takes, they're feeling fucking great. Like if they're doing 40 takes, they're feeling great because they're like, "Oh, I heard he asked for 100." And I'm just like, I wonder if some part of Fincher is like, just put it out there that I'm a real asshole.
Right.
Just spread the word. Just so when people show up, I
want people to think of me as Stanley Kubrick. So
yes, exactly. Everyone's got to be on point on my set, and this is not a bad thing to have. Have people walk in like, good myth making, if anything else. But he is. I mean, that's to say he's a very hardworking person, and he expects that to be true of everyone he's working with. Yeah, absolutely. Also, his movies are good. Those things are related.
His movies are good, right? So, this is the thing. When I watched this film, and I kind of, I know the premise of it, right? Mm-hmm. It gave me exactly the premise. Mm-hmm. Right. I didn't deviate. I didn't go, "Oh, that was unexpected."
Yeah,
right.
Deliver the goods. Right.
It gave me exactly what I thought the movie was. What was better than expected was the acting. I think, honestly, the acting is really pretty darn good in this. Better than the script.
Yeah. Like,
Anne Hathaway is pretty good. Yeah. But I think like Stanley Tucci's fantastic.
Oh, he's great. Yeah.
Right.
He's perfect. He's plugged in perfectly to that movie.
Right.
It's like really something. And I feel like everybody understands what the movie's trying to do, and that's what they're going after. Like, I agree with you. Like I wouldn't say like there's no like big laugh out loud things in this movie for me. Like, but there's a lot to connect with all these people.
Sure.
And so I think that this is like it ends up feeling like a very highly rewatchable, emotionally detailed experience. And like, I mean, it's, like, it may not be designed for me, but if it hits for somebody, I can be like, I can understand exactly what's happening for them. Like, this is a really well constructed piece of work, and I can see why, the next 2 decades of film and more streaming, we're like, this is super solid. Let's use that and run with it. Let's do that.
Yeah, for sure. That's the thing I think that was surprising. Now, I was thinking about, obviously, for filmmaking, because I do have this feeling that we've stalled in terms of what from the 80s to 2006, right? It's like massive amounts of change have happened there. Even between the 60s and the 80s, there's a massive amount of change, right? So we went boom, 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 and then we just flattened out, right? There's nothing. And that's in the filmmaking. But then when I started to realize, when I really looked at every detail of this story, right? Or every detail of the frames, besides phones, which are a very important thing, which I'm going to talk about in a second, but besides the phone, even like their computers didn't look that dated. They had these fancy Mac computers at their desk. These are 20-year-old Macs. They look like they might have been 5 years old.
Yep.
Right?
Right.
And they haven't changed, right? Yep. The cars outside, they look the same.
Soft edge, Ford Taurus
that Mercedes
inspired.
that they drive off in is as a 20-year-old car. It looks like it came out yesterday. We have not evolved in design. We have not evolved technologically. Like a CPU from 20 years ago is, well, I guess we have more cores now, but I mean, it's like, it's
it's faster.
There's not that much difference. There's not that much. And I was looking at some Sane commercials that I did with Simon, actually. I just have it on my computer, and it was like, those were 16 years old. That's how long ago I made these commercials.
Yep.
They might as well have come out yesterday.
Yep.
Like, they don't look that different. And the style is good. The music, even the music didn't feel dated in this at all. If you go back to the music from the 80s, it sounds completely different, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Right.
So
Right.
the music didn't change, the technology didn't change, the cars didn't change, the fashion didn't change. People will say, no, it changed. It's like, okay, it changed. I'm sure it has changed, but only slightly. It doesn't
Yeah, well,
feel
like
20.
I would say that everything feels like a recombination of these elements now. It's sort of like if you
Sure.
go to Taco Bell and they're like, we have a brand new thing on Taco Bell, and you're just like, I bet it has ground up meat, some lettuce, tomatoes, cheese.
Sure.
It's some repackaging of these same things. Like you
Sure.
have the stuff in the bins and you found a new way to fold the tortilla and now you call it a pizza.
Right.
It's the same thing. Like there aren't too many shocking moves happening to make culture new. At least not in movies and TV. It may be
Right.
different on YouTube. But movies and TV, it's like TV meaning streaming. Like those
Right.
things have merged into a relatively soft commodity that is extremely dependable. And because I mean, like think of like reality shows from the period and reality shows now. The only thing that's changed is the cameras are a little better. It's the same. Like everything's
Same premise.
same premises, everything,
Same
and it's been going on.
edits.
But like, there's like 100 popular reality shows that most of them have been going on for 20 years.
Yeah. So the strikes happened in 2008.
Yeah, somewhere.
That's when they started
Yeah.
the reality show boom, right?
That was
Because
the
they were
boom,
trying
yep.
to,
Right.
and it hasn't changed. So that's what I'm getting at is especially like, you know, because we're looking at like what does a new Hollywood look like? Like the problem we have is like we haven't changed, but it's not just Hollywood that hasn't changed. No culture has changed. Like or
Right.
at least Western culture in a lot of ways, right? I'm sure things have changed
Pop
a lot
culture
in China.
itself is
China has changed a lot.
Yeah. Like I would say that like our like pop culture has reached a sort of maximum density now, and the comfort zone is enormous.
Pop culture for sure, internet culture for sure has changed, right?
Yep.
And that became a thing. But people still look at memes from Devil Wears Prada,
Sure.
and it like is relevant today.
Still the same stuff. And then and the thing is, man, this is all fun. It doesn't really matter that much. But I feel like the conditions under which people, like, I think we're very like everybody, the political left, everybody like social left, like it's actually quite conservative about creativity these days. Like they're very, very like everyone's trying to protect the things that they feel are the valid ways to do things, and they don't want that
Right.
to shift too much. And so like it's not a surprise
They
to
want to
me
make creativity great again.
Yeah, you know, it's just like I think
Remember
it's
the old days.
like it's like you look at like one of the bellwethers for me is because I love comic books. I love indie comics. I've always loved indie comics.
Yeah.
I love I love popular comics. I love superhero comics. I love all that stuff. But for the bulk of the late 80s through the mid to late 90s, comic books were like taking radical stabs at all sorts of new art styles, and they were very, very creativity was really valued as opposed to
progressive.
and very progressive and very daring and very like the like non-uniformity was valued.
Right.
And this is where you get things as diverse. I mean, and all this stuff is relatively popular, right? So you get things as diverse as Superman to 8 Ball to Watchmen to whatever, Love and Rockets to all this kind of stuff. And like these are all like all over the place. Sometimes intense, like deeply written political commentary from Joe Sacco, or like you get like really goofy sort of like old school things like Bone, but they also have like some deep stuff to say, that kind of jazz. Cerberus, that kind of jazz. So like there's a wide, huge range. Simultaneously, this is also happening for indie film in the same bracket. Like it's insanely popular to be daring and weird and new, and like this is where you Steven Soderbergh's, Quentin Tarantino's, Penelope Spheris, like all this stuff. There's just like you watch Spheris' documentaries, you feel like you watch those today, you're like, oh shit, this is some live wire stuff, man. This is great. And you feel electrified by it. Or you watch, Smithereens from back in the 80s. And like that stuff where it's really, really like the fact that it's kind of unsafe is what is the value, even over the acting. Even over the shot, like the ramshackle screenplays, it's just like something fresh and interesting and some new tools to work with. People are inventing some new stuff. And now when you look at indie film, like indie film is all respect to Robert Redford, it's Sundance approved smoothness. Like it's all one big soft sweater of films, and it's all like everything is a thoughtful, spiritually centered, harsh critique on capitalism, but it's all the same. Like it's all
like
the fucking same.
Like Three Billboards or whatever.
Yeah, it's just it's all the same. Like the production's the same. They all look the same. Like there's no daring shit happening.
There is.
All I mean to say is like this is an economic problem. This isn't a problem that there aren't any creative people. It's an economic problem. Yes.
Risk taking. We don't risk anymore.
Yes. The incentive is not there to risk.
I believe the Daniels do take risks when they do.
Oh yeah, that shows how much people want it.
That's the exception.
That hits so big. Right? Yeah. Like when people are showed that, then they love it. When someone actually takes a risk.
I don't know what I just saw. That was freaking weird.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting. Yeah. Like, so like, it isn't the fact that there aren't, super creative people,
Sure.
Like there's always new young artists, all this that can do this stuff.
Sure.
It's whether or not the investment is there to make a business out of it that gets them the exposure. And that up until recently just has been largely flattened by large corporations and big time Hollywood stuff. And because that has not served up that hasn't served up any inspiring stuff, you do get less people engaging in the art, and you do get less creativity and experimentation. And what's even worse, what I was really starting to fear for a while, is that once that becomes the norm, then people get really sort of defensively comfortable in not shocking each other. Like I'm like, we got to get out of that hole right away. Like that's bad.
Yeah,
that's bad for everyone.
Yeah, we need some more.
Just need to rock the boat. And that's what it's for.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because we were just talking about it with a friend of ours who, I guess their spouse went to go see Clute, and was like, just couldn't take it.
Oh, it's too like, it's a very, just the photography alone we were talking about. And just like,
but it wasn't just as like, I don't know if I like movies anymore. That was the expression. It's like, and that's a hard movie to watch. And that's the point.
Sure. Yeah. Right? And the thing is, I mean,
like Cowboy.
Yeah. And like the person we're talking about, like, it's not like they don't have excellent taste and aren't incredibly skilled and aren't really good people. Like, I mean, it's just, but it's good that movies exist that make that person feel that way. Like, like I want that to be true. I want that to be true for me. It's interesting. When we were shooting up in Angels Camp, and one of the things that James wanted to do with us is watch a movie with us. Like he's like, I want to watch another movie with you guys. I was like, okay. So we made him watch 5 Easy Pieces, and he still talks about it today now. Yeah. I mean, because that movie fucking makes an impact on you.
Yeah.
Like that's what it's for. And the thing is, like, I think that there are better Nicholson films of that period, right? Like I'm a bigger fan in terms of just pure genius filmmaking.
The Last Detail
is like 4 stars. Absolutely. It's
funny. Perfect. I kind of loved, I like them both equally, but I almost edge out on this one because I feel somewhat more related to it.
This one is this is the thing, is because like this one, and now between those two, both 5-star movies. They're both 5-star movies.
Sure.
Like one of them is 5 stars because it's Last Detail is very focused, very subtle, and extremely well done. Like it's like we're going to do a very particular thing, and we're going to really nail it. Like really be very, like, we're going to attend to this and really make you feel it. Right. And the craft is going to be flawless.
And it's a road film and it's a classic journey film.
Yeah. Like everything about it is like, it's not a very risky movie in terms of its setup, right? Yep. It's just that they're absolutely committed to digging in as hard as they possibly can on what it is. Whereas like, 5 Easy Pieces is a way riskier movie. Way, like they're just pushing their chips forward on every fucking round. They're just like all in. We're changing the movie. We're doing this again, And so I think it's a sloppier movie, and sometimes it sort of wobbles and almost tips over a couple of times.
Well, it throws you off kilter constantly.
That is exactly. The fact that it almost doesn't work sometimes is part of the value of the movie. Like I don't want that to be more together. Like I want it to be unnerving and imbalanced and sort of knock me sideways now and again. And that is the value of the movie, because it really makes you think about things that are hard to make me even think about. Like it sets up contradictions within itself that as I try to resolve them and what Nicholson's choices are, like I'm in sort of, territory that I don't normally think on. And that's the real value of it. And like, this is the kind of thing I'm like, what is that? Like I'm all for like the great, like, Everything Everywhere All at Once you bring up, which is a great movie and it's just a phenomenally entertaining movie. Mm-hmm. Like, if you strip away all of the visual cleverness and insanity of the plot and all that stuff, at its core is a really relatable, straightforward movie about like
a mother and her daughter.
Like it's very, very straightforward and very, very beautiful. And it uses the noise to make you unself-conscious. To bring it back to our earlier part of the conversation,
it gives you the absurdity. So do you like, oh, wait a minute, this might seem absurd, but it's actually very and by the way, similar things happen in Swiss Army Man, right? So it's like, that is This is like this is okay. And when you brought up when we were talking earlier, where it's like, like all this, like the design of things, like like the internet has made us very self-conscious. So we had to change comedy, like you were saying with The Office, right? The goal of Swiss Army Man, the goal of the technique of Everything Everywhere All at Once, is to be embarrassed for you. Like like it's like, this is so fucking crazy, and here's a guy who's a thing up his butt. It's got a raccoon on his head.
Exactly. Like everything is so silly that it makes you unself-conscious about what the movie is doing, and then it allows you to have an emotional experience, which if they had just played it straight, you would have been too reserved to feel. Right. Like, because we are so self-conscious societally now, like to say, let's talk about this mother-daughter relationship. Like people wouldn't want to go see that movie. They'd be afraid to watch that movie. Like, and instead they do it so well that they make me feel it. And then they reproject it back onto its silliness. And they show you two little rocks on the edge of a canyon. And it's just basically a static shot of rocks, and everybody cries. It's incredible. Like that's incredibly deft stuff. 5 Easy Pieces is sort of the opposite of that. Like 5 Easy Pieces keeps on letting you think you know what the movie is, and then it embarrasses you. Yes. Like it's like, you think you're comfortable? We're going to upend this fucking thing. And you think you're comfortable in that? We're going to upend it again. And you are going to be unnerved by what is happening, and you're going to feel more and more relatable feelings to this character,
who you thought is the worst person in the world.
Yeah, and you're like, by the end of the movie, you're like, I am identifying with a truly broken, bad, like messed
really
up,
bad person,
disaster of a person, and who's not even like made. It's like he's not like, how can I say it? Like, what's great about that movie, and I'm going to spoil one thing, is that in the first 20 minutes of the movie, you think that Jack Nicholson is some poor guy that works on an oil derrick or whatever it is. He's not. He's a fucking blue blood rich guy who's pretending. Like he's just pretending. He's wearing the costume of this so he can feel something else. And I think that's true for everyone right now. That's all I could think when I was watching it. I was like, we are all doing this bullshit. All of us.
We are.
And this movie is just like, you know what? Fuck you. Yeah.
We're genuine people, but we're not.
Yeah. Like everyone's looking for authenticity everywhere outside of themselves. It's just insane.
So here's my thesis about, let's go back to the Devil Wears Prada, because here's my thesis, right? Again, very well executed film, etc. And you're right. It laid the groundwork for everything that was done afterwards in terms of easygoing. Devil Wears Prada today would never, never, never be in theaters, right?
No, this is 100% streaming. And it would be nearly as good. Like they would not make this movie. Not the way that it is.
No, not at all. In fact,
like Miranda would have to have a change of heart. She's very problematic.
Yes.
And she'd have to learn from, no. It's totally different.
We're watching the show Suits right now because Brady's like, I want to see the show Suits. That's the Devil Wears Prada. It's the same premise, right? Young guy walks into an office, learns how to deal with the big guys, how to be a tough lawyer, all this other stuff. Same thing.
Yeah,
Looks the same, by the way. That was started in 2011. Again, you can't tell the difference.
Yep.
But my point being that I keep blaming cinema for not changing when I looked at that movie and I realized cinema is just a reflection of the culture that we have.
Oh, it's us.
And I believe cinema definitely influences culture. It absolutely does.
As with any, what do you call it? Nature nurture relationship. Yes. Both sides are shaping the thing. The river shapes the land and the land shapes the river. Always.
For sure. Right. But movies haven't changed and culture hasn't changed and technology hasn't changed. Design hasn't changed. Fashion hasn't changed. And that's ironic, right? Because I'm thinking of what was his, was it Oscar Wilde who said that fashion is a form of art that's so horrible that they have to throw it away and start over every 6 months?
Every 6 months. Yeah, exactly. That sounds like Oscar Wilde. That sounds good.
Right. So, but fashion hadn't changed that much. I mean, I guess now people are just wearing more ripped jeans again, which is, whatever. But like there was a fashion statement from the 60s. There was a fashion statement from the 70s. There's a fashion statement from the 80s. There's a fashion statement from the 90s. And then I don't know what happened.
Right.
Like I can't tell the difference after that.
Yep. Well, because the culture.
And maybe is it because I'm old? Tell me if it's no, Chris, you're old. There's definitely
I think there's certainly, if people call us on that, there's a little bit of that. I'm sure that's true. However, I also think that we are on an arc of safety and uniformity right now. And I think that if you look back through the history of film, you see that rise and fall all the time. And right now we are on a steep rise. Where we're all trying to feel as maximally safe and comfortable in our lives as we possibly can, because the stresses are so high all around us that we keep on asking for more safety, and we want the stuff that we consume to be things we agree with, and we want to make sure that we sit in a room that is padded with things we agree with, and that and the thing is, like, a little bit of this is good. It's fine. Certainly we want that at the end of the day, but like we are, what we end up with is less, because the lack of challenge does two things. One is it gives us bed sores emotionally, because we are, we're just becoming when we start to see things that are challenging and we're upset by the fact that they're challenging, that's a problem artistically. Like we can't start saying that we can't make movies like that. You shouldn't make movies like this. You should always make movies like this. Whatever this is in that context, you should always be able to make movies like this. And there should always be examples of that. And right now there's no monetary system that rewards it, which is another way of saying we are scared of buying it.
Right. Here's my other thesis, which is going to be a weird one, and this is very technology one. All right. Movie came out in 2006. Devil Wears Prada came out in 2006. iPhone comes out in 2007.
Right.
Okay. Obviously, cell phones were around. Even smart, quote unquote, smartphones were around for before that. I will tell you, I'm generally pretty good at predicting when something's going to be big or not big. I thought the iPhone was going to be a gimmick because they missed the mark on certain things, and then I was completely wrong, right? Because they oversimplify things. It's like, such an Apple thing, oversimplifying absolutely everything. People want functionality out of their phones, and they made that happen. Now everything looks like an iPhone. Now, the phone obviously changed everything. The iPhone came along 2007, right?
Yep.
They said this is now the form factor of phones, and nothing changed after that.
Yes,
everyone started to go.
It's just
to
a slice of bread now.
Right?
There it is.
That's it. So if you look at the original iPhone and the new iPhone, they're essentially the same thing.
Yeah. It's
just a bigger screen, better screen.
Right.
All that's changed. It's true.
Right.
But the form factor hasn't changed. The design hasn't changed. No one's done anything since then.
Right.
They're trying to fold phones now, but still fold them so they look like the same phone that you have.
It's
right?
just a wide phone.
So, but the phone became this thing, right? And the phone became, because of the phone, that was the true goal of what Apple wanted to do. And this came up on another podcast into, but essentially Apple wanted to make the personal computer. And the personal computer people thought was the Macintosh that sat on your desk. But when you take the whole thing and put it in your pocket, that's way more personal. And it's on you all the time and you do everything. Social media blasted this whole thing. That, I believe, social media was what sort of got us to we're not going to, like, we just keep feeding me the same things over and over and over again. Right?
Absolutely.
There's no evolution. There's no time to evolve culturally if you're always just looking at Facebook and Instagram.
Well, one of the things I talked about, like going to Massachusetts and coming back, like it is very like we were in Cape Cod for like a week, and it felt, and I mean this in a good way, it felt like we were there for like a month and a half. Because it was so.
See, I went to Vegas for NAB for 5 days, and it felt like I was there for a month and a half.
Yeah.
Not in a good way.
yeah, exactly. That's like being in Dante's Inferno for a week and a half. Yeah, like
but anyway,
like,
Cape Cod.
Just having a change of season, I was like, oh, like time has passed. You know, that kicked off those chemicals. Like it felt like it was just the weather even changed while we were there, and I was like, oh yeah. And then you come back to California, and California is like, it's the iPhone of states, where it's like totally smooth, sunny every day, and you're like, I'm still 18. This is great. Like you ain't.
Right. Okay.
Like that's true.
That's your.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So this, you know about my stance on anti-nostalgia, right?
You and I share the stats.
We do, right? So I'm essentially
viscerally
like, I think nostalgia
anti-nostalgia.
is damaging to people. It's like, remember this, remember that, right?
Yeah.
You had a great piece, by the way. Someone put up a meme on our Discord. I think it was you, about how Ridley Scott is hoping that he has enough emphasis to make his fans love Alien.
He's working on the
first Alien.
It's a picture of working on the first Alien. And it's like Ridley Scott wonders if he's referencing the first movie enough for the fans to be satisfied.
It's the first movie.
It's the first movie. Yeah, this is like, the thing is like, I'm, because obviously I love old movies galore. I watch also I read old books, all this stuff. But the reason, like all those things, I love them because I just read them and they're fucking awesome, or I just watched them and they're fucking awesome. Not because like, oh, they make them so well. But I mean, like if you would go back to like the same year The Third Man came out, which is one of my favorite movies of all time, there's like 60 or 70 super shitty movies that don't even exist anymore. Like, I don't have a nostalgia for the time period. I just think The Third Man is a great movie. Like that's
correct. That's correct.
I think that today. I don't think about, oh man, they don't make them like that.
That's correct. And but and listen, that definitely there's hope. Like again, The Sinner is one battle.
Absolutely, great year.
Weapons.
Like, well, the thing is, what I would like to say on that, right?
Begonia, I thought was pretty good.
Yeah, and Begonia, I really liked it. And then when I rewatched it, I really liked it. Like, it hit harder the second time. But anyway, like, great year overall for bigger movies, Hollywood movies, because they are desperate. They're desperate to figure it out. Like, they're like, oh shit, superheroes just the river ran dry. Now we've got to do something else. What I am concerned about is that Hollywood got there first. Like this should not have been, like, Sinners is made by the guy who directed at least two massive Marvel films and
Right.
is the director of a Rocky franchise.
So you were hoping that some new director would bring some fresh blood.
Yeah,
into
like,
the
like
situation.
it's awesome that Hollywood had this realization, and that
Paul Thomas Anderson.
Yeah,
kind of
these guys are
established
fucking
director.
old, man. He's our age. Like that's. I mean, it's wonderful that they're getting the attention that audiences want to see this stuff. But I also I want that to come from the bottom up.
Well, listen, this is coming from two guys that are in our 50s that are trying to make our first feature film.
Hey man, like the thing is we're trying to do it like our whole lives. We're trying to get it together, figure ourselves out, and get to the point where we do it, right?
Yes,
most filmmakers are brave and organized and stupid enough to do it when they're young. Right. And I should have made that mistake when I was young, and I didn't, and I still want to do it. So I'm trying now. And that's what's
well,
it
happen. Took us some time to get sober first. So, but
yeah, exactly, dude. Exactly. So like for all the olds out there, like keep on rocking. Like that's your responsibility. Like keep on going. But there is no current system in film to identify young talent that breaks up to Best Picture, the Daniels aside. Like, think about like how many indie films were breaking through in the 90s when you suddenly got, name after name after name after name of all these young filmmakers that defined the next 2 decades of film. Right. And like that's what we do see now. And I'm not saying like young people are not being lazy. They're just doing this on YouTube and TikTok. Like that's where they're doing it, right? But in terms of the movie industry, like which is what I love, like if you want to stay relevant and survive, you can't keep on waiting for Paul Thomas Anderson and the old dudes on this podcast to be making movies. Like, that's not a business model.
Yeah. But it was, to me, like, again, I think, like, honestly, I've been thinking about this film. I was thinking about, after watching it, I was like, oh my God, this is everything. I couldn't put into words everything that I've been thinking about what we're going through culturally. And that movie somehow brought it all to light to me. Yeah. Again, as a film, I think it's perfectly fine. And I enjoyed it.
Absolutely top of the line studio bit of work. Like,
great work.
Is absolutely like never let it be. Like, I'm not here to complain about like, oh, studios destroy everything. No. When studios are doing good work, it's like nothing else. Yeah. Like,
and obviously I missed out. So everyone that says I've never seen a Devil Wears Prada, they all look at me like I've never seen a Lexus before.
Yeah, right. But I mean, this is comparatively, what they do in that movie is comparatively daring to what they do on similar stories on Netflix. And I think that like they would not, like there's it's too self-reflective and subtle a movie in what it's attempting to grapple with.
Sure. For
Netflix producers to want to try to serve up. They're afraid that audiences will not like this. And I'm way more afraid, to go back to like the comedians bitching about wokeness. Like I think that what it is like, it isn't people don't want to see stuff. It isn't people don't want to be challenged. It's the people that greenlight things don't want to lose their jobs. And so they make safe choices when nobody needs that.
So essentially we've created a system where people get fired because they made risky choices.
Yes.
It reminds me of, so in my company, this is a long time ago, things have changed, but it's a long time ago, they had done this system where they were setting up goals. Like everyone had to set up a goal for what they're going to do for the year or whatever it is, right? And at the end, they celebrate. It's like, we've met 98% of our goals. And I'm like, that's terrible. Because everyone had safe goals.
Yes.
Like if you're incentivized to make a goal, and that you get rewarded for making that goal. My goal is to arrive to work at 9:00 every day. That's an easy goal for me to achieve, as opposed to my
achieved
goal
100% of my goal.
Right, yeah.
Because my standards are low.
Because you get rewarded for achieving the goal. So if you have a choice of what goal to make, you're going to choose the lesser goal, right? Like if I said, hey, you know what? You can win $1,000. You can either run, you can do whatever you want. It's like, do you want to run 6 miles? Or do you want to run 200 feet? It's like, I'll run 200 feet if I win the same amount of money. Why would I ever set a goal to run 2 miles? Right. So, it's just the same thing, right? Like, anyway, I think that's the case with film, as you said, right? Don't make risks because that will be a thing. But I've been thinking about this cultural thing, and I've been thinking about how to put it in, and I needed to sort of talk through it because honestly, what I wanted to do is I wanted to write a blog post about it, but I said, I think I need to talk through this with you. We can take it to podcast and then I can make it a blog post.
No, I think these are great observations. I feel like because the lazy way to think about this is like, it's like, oh, kids today are too fragile or some bullshit like that. Like, which is just this is not the case. It's just stupid to think like this. And
kids today are actually so smart.
Yeah.
Way smarter than you and I were at this age.
Like up until like I'm 47. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Like, come on. Let's be realistic.
I'm shocked at how kids are today. Like, so smart.
But what we
very educated.
where we are failing, right, is that we are not like all of us together, young and old, are failing to engage the system we're criticizing. Like if movies are not satisfying for you, then make them.
Right.
Like don't put it off on someone else to save movies. Like you got to save it. And
if you want to make movies,
and just as a philosophy, like it's her life is in your hands, dude. Like this is this is for you to do. That is what we must do. And I think that like it's hard when you're up against a monolithic thing like movies or the studio system or the government of the United States or whatever it is to have the willpower to take that on. But if that's what is in your mind, then don't half-ass it and do what everyone else is doing. Like take it on and be honest about it and be brave about it, because you'll feel so much better instead of, both complaining and being depressed. Like that just drives you into a doom scrolling hole.
That's what everyone does though.
That's what everyone does. Scroll. Well, it's like I know I bring this up all the time, but it really made an impact on me. We took one of our short films to a short film festival that was in Sacramento, and me and Dave 3D was there. Yep. And all the directors got up on stage, and I always say, like, don't give a microphone to artists, because the first thing we'll do is complain that no one recognizes how brilliant we are. So like this was a great example of this. But this is like, it's like when you ask an actor, ask any actor or ask any writer, which I am both of these things, like, how hard was it to face your fears and do this role? Like, no one ever says like, oh, it's easy. Like, they're like, let me tell you my struggle. And then they go on for 5 minutes. I've done this a million times, but I'm about to tell you the opposite story.
Right.
Which is all these directors up on stage, right? And the audience is asking, doing Q&A. And I have been the person in the audience who asks this. I have been exactly this person, which is like, guys get up and say like, so it must have been really hard trying to pull together all the money and the people and all the technology to make your film. Can you discuss how hard that was? Like, and this was question after question after question to everyone that was up on stage, of some form of that question, right? And if you're at a short film festival, almost everybody in the audience is a filmmaker or a wannabe filmmaker. Almost everybody, right? And I was just so frustrated. I was like, I fucking asked this myself to other filmmakers. And I realized what I was doing when I was saying that was, please give me an excuse so I don't have to face my fears. Thank you. Mm-hmm. And stepping back. And so all the filmmakers up there, and they're all nice guys, we're just like one after the other. Well, it's tough. You got to be made of a special kind of grit. And, you got to get up at 6 a.m. You got to work all day, and you have to make hard decisions. And sometimes people aren't going to like you. Right? Mm-hmm. There's some version of that. And by the time it got to me, I was so fucking frustrated. I was like, it's super easy. You got a phone in your pocket. And I'm embarrassed that I haven't been making films up until now when it's so goddamn simple to do it. Everybody just, if you're wise, get up, go make a movie and stop listening to us. And that didn't go down well at all.
Right.
Like nobody wanted that answer, right?
Sam Raimi said the same thing. Did you see an interview he did recently? He's talked about it's very simple to make a movie. There's a beginning, there's a middle, there's an end.
Yeah,
that's
go
it.
Fucking do it. Do it. And like this is like that's what I've been trying to tell myself the kinder version of that since then. And
right.
And since then I've actually made more stuff. You and I have formed a company. Like we've been getting things done. But but the fact is that it's when things are this actually slides a little bit into our normal AI discussion. It's like when things are easy is when you become very aware that it's simply on you.
Yeah,
and that sucks. Like because then you're just there with your fears.
I'll tell you a similar story that's related to this, but it was when we did you and I did our first thing together, which was 15 years ago, whatever, for V-Ray IRL.
Right.
And I decided to suddenly I became a producer almost accidentally. Right.
The best way.
And the best way. And so I was, talking to Lisa Baru, fantastic producer, and she was sort of helping me through the process and sort of explaining to me what I needed to do or take. You okay? You spilled your drink?
I almost spilled my drink, caught it in time. Like later.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Anyway, so she's explaining all the things that she's supposed to do. And she said, and then I realized it was like when we were actually doing production, and I said, if I don't do anything today, nothing will get done.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
because before, when I was an artist and I had producers that I worked for, they would just tell me, here's what you're doing today. Okay, I'll do that. Right. But I had to make, as a producer, all the choices. Like if I didn't do anything, nothing was going to get done. Yep. I had to basically say, okay, Daniel, here's what you got to do today. You got to make sure you do this. You do this, do this. Okay, you got everything. Okay, I need your decisions on all those shots. I need this. Oh, but got to get the camera. Got to get a credit card. Got to go pick up the truck. Whatever it is. Like, if I didn't do any of that, there's no movie.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part.
It's just you. That's all there is.
Deciding to do it.
It's so simple and it's so dumb. But all of us, definitely me included by 1,000, like we have these parts of our lives that I'm just like, well, isn't there something I could complain about instead? Right. Like, can't we just do this the easy way and have me, like, I don't do it, but at least I have something to sort of pawn it off on. Yeah. A friend of ours, Justin Denton, made this terrific movie named The Sin Eater. And
The Sin Eater.
Yeah, and so since then,
The Curse of the Sin Eater.
The Curse of the Sin Eater.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And shout outs to Justin if he's out there.
Love Justin.
And I thought the Curse of the Sin Eater was great, and like I became sort of obsessed with the idea of Sin Eaters. And if people don't know what this is an ancient, I believe, Catholic or something, anyway, religious thing in which you have someone who's died, and the person who has died is a terrible person who's going to go to hell. Like that's by the laws of whatever. And so if you do it in time, the guy dies, you put this little cake on top of them on their chest, right? Mm-hmm. And then the cake absorbs the sin. It sucks the sin out of their bones somehow, right? And just like this, and it's like this. And then the sin eater, this person who has made this cake, like takes the cake and eats it and takes on all of the sin, and that the dead person can now go to heaven, right? And
but so then the sin eater has to.
But the sin eater has the burden of all the guilt and shame and whatnot of the sin. Okay,
right.
So I wonder about what are the sin eaters in our lives, and like when there's stuff that we should be facing, but we don't want to. What do we put it off on instead? You know, what are the things? What are the things like? Oh, you know what it is? It's the fucking studios, man. It's the studios. You know, that's the real problem. You know, it's like sitting at the gas and sip with John Cusack, just like choice, man.
Bitches, man.
Exactly. Like how it's like. Yeah, like I think that Donald Trump.
You guys know so much about girls. Why are you guys?
Why you at the gas and sip at 3 a.m. Choice, man. But like somebody like Donald Trump, you're just like all of like. we are all a
Yes.
part of a capitalist society that is rapacious, and
Right.
and the fact that we have iPhones is endorses terrible things and keeps them happening. But
Right.
really, it's Donald Trump. So we put it all on Trump, and then we can feel he eats
Right.
the sin for us, and then we can feel better about ourselves. He is still a terrible person,
The
like a
greatest
very
irony,
dangerous, terrible person. But
the greatest,
we get to feel better about ourselves and our small sins because he is
Right.
such a big collection of them.
the greatest irony is seeing these people complaining about social media by
Yeah.
doing
On
elaborate
social
videos
media.
on social media
Exactly.
to get
You know,
clicks.
Yeah. And
Right?
so, like, this is the thing. It's like on the small end of the scale, whether, it's making movies or confronting whatever it is that you truly
Sure.
love, right? Like, look for, like, what is taking the blame for your responsibilities? Like, I think this is a really key thing. And it's something that I try to think about all the time because I fuck it up every single day, every day.
Right.
Like, it's not like, I'm enlightened and now I have no problems. And that's why I've made so many feature films. I have not. I haven't. And until I have, I can't say that I have. And after I have made one, then I'm still going to face the same problem every single day. It's like nothing's getting done until we sit down to do it. That's it.
I think what's important to me is finding joy in something very, very real, right?
Yeah.
So the way that I would describe it is, just because I'm about to go on my fishing trip, if I go to Belize and I'm standing on the bow of the boat, and I'm looking for fish in a blue environment with no cell reception, and all I hear is the little bit of waves, and I'm looking for very specific little flashes in the water. And then you hook onto a fish and you catch it and you do this whole thing. The instinct is I have to capture this on Instagram so I can show it to someone.
Yeah, sure.
Right. Right. And I understand that you want to but at the same point, enjoy the moment of just that.
That's all there is. Instagram isn't real. Like, there's only the moment.
There is only the moment. And to experience that for real, I know people go to Instagram to vicariously live through that. I do all the time. I'm not saying that, but the moment of actually doing it is the moment that makes it real. And listen, I'm not to become, that brings me huge joy. Just sitting on the bow of a boat waiting for a fish to show up, I'm not going to become famous from doing that.
Right. But
no one's going to remember me from that.
You're going to be on the boat fishing.
But I'm going to do that. When I die, I just want to make sure I've experienced that myself.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's like my wife was just talking about this this morning, and she was just like, there's a study where it's like people are more happy doing dishes, thinking about doing dishes, than they are being on vacation thinking about work. And I was like, yeah. Like, if you're just doing dishes and you're just thinking, I'm just going to do these dishes, you are in the golden Zen moment. Like, that's actually a variation on Belize.
Yes.
Belize is even better. But if you're in the right state of mind, like, you're just experiencing what's happening. And then it makes it so much easier to do stuff.
You need that balance, right? Or for me, there's certain analog things, they all seem to be fishing related, but tying the fly, practicing casting, those stuff for saying, this is my analog, because your brain needs those moments. Your brain needs to. It's sleep is important, but sometimes you go to sleep and you just haven't had time to just.
Yeah.
Who was saying this? Oh my God, it was I think it was Ivan Strata, Ivan from Strata XR, Ivan Real. He's a great guy, and he was telling me that like your brain needs time to be bored. If you're not bored, that's you become creative when you're bored.
Yeah, because you're yeah, exactly. You're either processing things that have happened to you, or you're trying to figure out new things. Like, you're trying to, like, you want to do new things.
Right.
And I think that, like, we are, like, when you are bored and afraid, that's when you get mad, because you want to do new things and you're afraid to do them. And I think that, especially since COVID, that's where a lot of us have been living.
Yeah.
And you can really feel that, like, this sort of like, I don't want to be just in the internet space getting mad about stuff, and then also afraid to go outside and interact with people. This sucks.
Yeah.
And like actually doing the work of like getting outside, doing a thing and accomplishing it, even if it's small, talking to someone, meeting with someone, like just doing that will alleviate that, because it'll get your brain acting in a new way. Like there's some new stuff to work with. That's all you need.
Yep.
Like that's the energy you need to keep on rocking, And I feel it's like there's a, everything else is, there's the old Zen, I think it's Zen, the carry water, chop wood mindset. Like everything can be accomplished if you just put it in terms of carry water, chop wood. Just keep on doing the thing that needs doing, right? And it gets done. And it leaves your mind available to appreciate the things that are novel about whatever is happening. Like that's where you can be present. And talk about anti-nostalgia, dude. That's what it's about. Like you're not living in the future in anxiety, and you're not living in the past in depression. You're living right now and appreciating. Like that's what you should try to be doing.
Yes. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it just became important to me to talk about this, and I appreciate you allowing me to sort of work my way through what's I'm saying. And I think that
you're on the verge of Belize, man. I understand.
It was not just a Belize thing, but I am still very much checked in. But like to me, the filmmaking, like I started to realize, like I keep blaming filmmaking, I keep blaming thing, and I realized like this is a problem way beyond filmmaking. Filmmaking is just playing it safe, but everyone is playing it safe. The phones are playing it safe. The cars are playing it safe. The fashion is playing it safe. Music is playing it safe. There's no, the jump between Tears for Fears and Nirvana was freaking huge, right? Mm-hmm. And there is none of that right now, So
and at least like that stuff, it should be like, I think that stuff exists. I think that stuff is out there,
Sure.
And like, but like for the things that particularly this podcast is concerned with, movies, etc., like streaming, like it really is time to fight against the uniformity of what has happened.
Right.
Like that will be good for everyone creatively. That'll be good for us as consumers. That'll be like we're in the, like, as we've often brought up, we're in Doris Day land right now. Like we're in, like, we got to get the fuck out of here. Like this is no good. The music doesn't get any better than Que Sera Sera. It's time to go.
For sure. And of course, the irony is that we're making a Western, right? But I still believe that there's ways of looking at that differently.
That's it. There's a reason to, like, there's a reason. Like, there's a reason, man. Like the thing is, like, you don't have to, like, I'm going to say it in the corniest way I could possibly say. It isn't about reinventing the wheel. It's about where you're going with it. Like, that's the idea. Like the wheel is to get you to a place. That's why you have the wheel. Right. You don't have to reinvent that part, but you do have to, like, strike out in a new direction and go someplace. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right, dude. Thank you so much for doing this. Thank you for letting me brain dump on you.
No, it's awesome.
And then, we'll do more of these film analysis if anyone would like us to do this. And of course, this podcast will probably come out after The Devil Wears Prada 2 is out. So I don't know what people think, but this is mainly, to me, it was just a cultural point that I thought was important to do. And by the way, when I typed in The Devil Wears Prada into Google, just look it up, a giant red stiletto walked across the screen.
Look at that.
In Google
nice.
search.
Technology, baby. It's always here to help us.
So, all right, man. Thank you.
All right, cool.
Hollywood like in 1970. One's prime. From Otter's bold dreams to AI's fever dream, where tech meets the silver, a LED screen. Pixels and passion, our pipelines are known to host one show on a deadline.